Hello and welcome to Voidy Century. My name is Ion here with a new segment for the new year in this channel where I rank cards based on my personal opinions and may be subject to change every time a new set comes out. Without further ado, my top 10 cards for the blue colorway of OP01. At number 10, we have Love Beam. I love this card. It's a 2-drop that protects you for 4k, which is a norm. A lot of cards actually do that now. What I love about this in blue is the fact that mid-game I find myself going down to 4 cards, even 3, and at that point once I play this, I love how it replaces itself with a draw. Number 9, we have Gekko Moria. A lot of you might think that Gekko Moria here is very deep down here in the list. It's true. Personally, I kind of don't follow the meta a lot, but I have him at 9 because I use him to dig my 7 warlords or even Perona off of the trash. I use him to dig a lot of Teach and Mihawk for the 2k counter and Duffy for the block and scry. Again, he's very good, and when I need to attack with him, of course, he's always there. I do rank the rest of the cards above him in this list, but he is an amazing card. That's why he's in this list right now. And at number 8, you may be surprised, I have Sentimaru. Sentimaru is a very good card. Personally, I like him. I like the Sentimaru engine. You do see him in the tournament scene, but not a lot. Some people actually remove Sentimaru from their decks and just run with the Kuma engine. The only thing with him is that I don't attack with him. I use him as an engine to just pull my 5k blockers or my 6k attackers out of the deck. I managed to do that 3 or 4 times in a game, and I'm happy when that happens. I know you have to commit about 3 dons each turn. Your opponents can actually tell what your play is next, and that's the weakness of Sentimaru and the downside to it. But at the same time, you can always play around him. And at number 7, we have Perona. Perona. This was my chase card when I opened my first booster box, and to my surprise, I actually pulled all 4. Well, I got a box stopper and then I got the other 3 in the box, but Perona herself is a very good card. You can rearrange your top 5 cards in any order and put them back either the top or bottom if you don't like the 5 cards you see. And at the same time, if I have a Teach without any blocker to bounce in my opponent's side, I bounce back my Perona to do an extra scry in a turn if I need to, because you know, she's just 1 don. She is just very good at what she does in any blue deck you put her. And at number 6, we have of course Marshall D. Teach. Blackbeard, hate him in the manga, but I love using him in the game. He is so good. For a 4-drop 4k, I believe he is expensive, but he comes in to return a 3 cost or less to the owner's hand. Mind you, this is to return both sides. You can target your own character cards or your opponent's character cards. I mainly use him to remove blockers. In the current meta that I face in my LGS, and even Teach is usually used to remove the 1-drop blockers. You see a lot of choppers, a lot of beaches, a lot of 2-drop blockers from the purple side. Even if you do a mirror match, a lot of 1-drop laws. So I like using him because a lot of people have the mentality as long as you have a 1-drop blocker, it's perfectly fine because you don't end up using as much Don and they do the same amount of work as other blockers. But he is a good deterrent to those 1-drops and 2-drop blockers. So that's why I have him ranked at 6 to be able to remove a blocker, and he does it very well. Next at 5, we have Crocodile, the 7-drop 7k with Banish and Don times 1. All your blue events cost 1 less to play and counter 1000. Sorry about the typo there in the bottom. I don't see myself using this guy a lot, but I do see him in the scene a lot. A lot of people use him when you use a Blur Pull Crocodile deck, reducing the cost of every event. He works. I don't play him personally, but I do see his usefulness, and it's a scary card to see when a 7k attacker just drops with Banish. You don't even get to see if you have a trigger card or not. It just goes straight in the trash, and that's a scary thought. And that's why we have him at number 5, because he's just a very scary body to face. And here at number 4, we have Mihawk. 92-93% of the time I use him as a 2k counter, and he's amazing at it. Mihawk and the Moria combo is beautiful. I drop Moria, I get him back. if I need an attacker, I use him. A very easy decision to make because of his ability that draws 2 and discards 2. He has a cycling mechanic for blue, which is amazing. That's why I rate him at 4 and I use him a lot. I try to look for him in as much as I can because he's just that good in a blue deck. And at number 3, no doubt, I rank Duffy at number 3, the 3-drop 4K blocker and scryer. Just think of this card as a Perona on steroids. It's such a good card. I love seeing him drop. Look at the top 5 of your deck and just to set yourself up. After he's done his job, he's there to block for the next turn or whenever your opponent decides to attack. I like using Teach as well on him to bring back to my hand and just to be able to play him again. It's a very fun mechanic to see. That's why I have Duffy up here on number 3. At number 2, we have none other than Boa Hancock. It's a very easy decision to put this card in number 2. Not only is she a waifu, this card is beautiful. She's a blocker, and with 1 extra dawn on both your attacking phase and the blocking phase, she will let you draw an extra card if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. And that's why I rank her high up here. I like attacking with her. I like blocking with her. Of course, at number 1, we have none other than Mr. Dracul Mihawk, the 9-drop 9000 on play. Place 1 character with a cost of 7 or less to the bottom of their deck. It's a no-brainer that this card is the finisher for blue. This card is your late game. This card is your end game. He gets rid of a lot of cards. Of course, he doesn't get rid of the green side's 8-drop kid, but he well overpasses the threshold for attacking into that kid. His ability is basically just saying, just put this character to the trash. Basically, just put him in the discard pile. Like, it's a very straightforward card. It shows how strong this card is. It shows he's the strongest swordsman, and it shows that the game is over. I do want to touch on some other cards who deserve to be in the list in some way or form. And we have them here. We have Gekko Moria, the 4-drop with double attack. If you have 5 or more cards in hand, which I find myself not having most of the time. So I do have him there, but the double attack is a scary thing. And on top of that, if I have the other Gekko Moria, it doesn't search for, or it doesn't dive for this in the trash. So there's that downside. And then the next 2 cards here, we have Bon Clay and Alvida. I love them just for their 2k counters. Actually, I'm not a great fan of using their abilities. I do like using Bon Clay in a blur pull Crocodile deck, but aside from that, I just use them for 2k counters, and that's why they're here. And of course, the last card here is Trafalgar Law. A 1-drop blocker is an easy choice to have in a deck. Again, this list is based off of whatever I've played against, whatever I played with, and whatever I've seen as deck builds and lists around the world. What would your top 10 be? And if you didn't like mine, and that's perfectly fine, what would you have changed in it? I would love to hear from you. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope this first ranked video was worth the watch. Thank you so much for your time. Be safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.